back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Well,
Alright, what's up, what's up?
hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. You hear me clear and everything?
Yeah, I hear you good.
Alright, so what's up, Alberto Castro? Full-time family call, UFC 219 preview. What's going on?
It's good, man. Just excited for the fights, First of all, I want to say thank you to you because you do a really good job, man. I've been listening since like Quick Picks 2 or something like that.
Yeah, man, quick picks. Or quick hits too, or quick picks.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, you've been doing a good job. It's nice seeing the channel grow, man. And
okay, I appreciate it. Okay.
All right, so you just want to talk about 219 or?
Yeah, we can. I mean, whatever you want. I mean, I'm usually doing the majority of the talking. So if there's anything else you want to cover that leading up to 219 or after, we can talk about that as well. But yeah, if you want to just get started with UFC 219, we can talk about, I guess, Dan Hooker versus Mark Diakiese. I haven't talked a lot about that because that just got added to the main card after Jimmy Rivera and John Lineker was canceled. So Dan Hooker versus Mark Diakiese, are you too interested in that fight? You got to pick you want to win in that fight?
I don't even know who they are, man, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, Dan Hooker, you're going to put me on the spot. No, Dan Hooker was actually the guy that recorded the boomerang incident, Kobe Covington and Fabricio.
Oh, shit.
He's the one that actually recorded it and stuff. But no, he also, Mark Diakiese is like that black dude with the super bright red mohawk. Like, it's pretty crazy. He just took his first UFC loss in his last fight, I believe. But yeah, that's the fights on that card. So another fight on that card is Cynthia Calvillo versus Carla Esparza. What do you think about that fight?
I think Cynthia Calvillo can probably get it because she's really, really good in jiu-jitsu, even though she likes to strike a lot. But yeah. I think I can neutralize the wrestling a bit. And then we've also saw Carla get a little tired. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't know if she can keep it up over the 3 rounds.
Okay, yeah, I think I picked Carla Esparza probably because her grappling and that. I mean, but as you said, the jiu-jitsu can kind of offset the grappling if she can, find a way to find a limb or something or expose her neck. So that's going to be a great fight. I know a lot of people are taking Calvillo. She's undefeated right now. Dana White's, been bringing her around to press conferences like, yo, she's the next thing and stuff. And she looks like to me, like when she was fighting Joanne Calder, when she looked like Avril Lavigne. You know who Avril Lavigne is? She looked like a Mexican Avril Lavigne or something. But another fight on the card, aside from the main event.
About her again, the new chick, she has really good cardio. That's
okay. Okay.
She has a.
Did you see her? Did you see her last fight versus Joanne Calderwood?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was a good fight, man. I gotta go. I watched it, but I gotta go back and watch it because whenever I was watching it, I thought like I would have been fine if they raised Joanne Calderwood's hand, and like when you just do a Google search on the recap of the fight, they say like it was somewhat controversial. But then you see a lot of people in the comments like, no, I had Calvillo winning that fight, so it could have went for either one. I'd have to go back and watch it to give a more clear what I really think happened. But yeah, it's gonna be a dope fight, and Calvillo's coming out of Team Alpha Male, but they've got a couple dope-ass prospects coming up. Have you seen Benito Lopez?
Yeah, he's pretty good, yeah.
That's going to be fun. I like his style and stuff. That's dope, too. He's coming up out of Team Alpha Male. But, yeah, so who is the fight that's not on the co-main event or the main event that's also it's not the Khabib fight or the Holly Holm fight. There's another fight on UFC 219.
The Condit and Magny.
Carlos Condit, Neil Magny, yeah. What do you think about that fight?
Oh, I got Condit all day, man.
Okay.
He's he didn't do good his last fight, but every one of his fights, he always keeps a good pace. He can do elbows from the ground. He can do high kicks and has all these crazy angles. So I think, Damian Maia was a real threat on the ground.
Yeah.
But with something like Magny, he's not going to be afraid to like really kick him and punch him and stuff. So I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that knocked out Dan Hardy with that left. Ooh.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And that's another fight that could go either way. And I am also picking. I think I picked Neil Magny on my predictions, but it was just because even though Neil Magny himself said today, he was like, look, Carlos Condit has the advantage everywhere. He's got the cardio, he's got the reach. Everywhere on paper, he does have the advantage. So I'm going to have to be relentless to win this fight. So the odds are probably against Neil Magny in that sense. But as far as activity, he has fought 14 times in the last 4 years compared to, Condit, who's only fought 4 times in the last 4 years. And to me, there's just something about, like, how, the game evolves. Over the last 4 years, of course, the game has evolved. And Condit's been around, but Neil Magny has been, just evolving with the game. So I'm just curious to see how that's going to play. But yeah, Carlos Condit's got the championship experience.
Well, he also trains at the Jackson Wing, so I'm pretty sure he's not that far off from the game,
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so moving on to the co-main event, what do you think about Khabib and Edson?
Oh man, that's a really, really good fight. I think that people are really afraid to, let Khabib grab them, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
what they don't do is they don't, like, once they start seeing it happening, they don't really, like, explode out of it, you know what I mean? Because you really gotta, like, kind of when Eddie Alvarez was trying to take down Conor just pushed that motherfucker and pushed him back and kept swinging at him,
Yeah.
So I think to stop Khabib from holding you have to be really, really explosive. Like, as soon as he grabs you, whatever, or he takes you to the ground, pop right back up right away.
And Edson, he can definitely do that. So
yeah, Khabib's like a snake, man. Like, if you see him on the ground, he'll use his hip and his legs in weird ways that really like traps you little by little, and by the time you're trapped, it's too late,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you got winning the fight? Oh, okay. Yeah, Khabib, it's crazy, man, because Edson is also one of the most experienced fighters Khabib's ever fought, one of the best fighters, most high level he's ever fought. And people talk about, though, Michael Johnson really took it to Edson, and we saw what Khabib did to Michael Johnson, but that's definitely not how MMA math works. Maybe Edson's a little more explosive than Michael Johnson as far as getting out of the takedowns. So it's going to be a dope fight, and not to mention the flying knees, that he just knocked
that's
out
what I was
Gary
thinking,
with.
The wild time knee on the takedown. It's wrestler,
Yeah, so
that's... you Weidman and the other guy, Aljamain, right? He got hit by a knee too.
Yeah. Weidman was by Yoel Romero, but yeah, and then the Aljamain one was kind of a kick. But yeah, he got caught with the knee, but he was throwing. Marlon said he was throwing a kick. But yeah, those knees can definitely be deadly when you're shooting for a fucking takedown. And hey, it's Khabib. So, the main event though, Holly Holm and Chris Cyborg. Are you hyped for that? Like super hyped for that fight? Who do you got in that fight?
I got Chris Cyborg just because she's really dominant. And I think Holly's gonna bring something new and make her, like, sort of not just be a brawler and be really smart with her fighting. But at the same time, I don't think we've seen the best of Cyborg at all. Nobody has challenged her enough. Yeah. And I don't think we know how good she is, and we'll find out. But I think she's probably gonna play smart. She's not gonna fall for Holly's counterattacking. She's just gonna get her. And she's been sparring with her team for forever. So
yeah, she's also been sparring with like that boxing champion. I can't think of her name off the top of my head. Like that black chick. They've been like going around together. Fuck, I know her name. Priscilla. I don't know why I'm thinking Priscilla, but Cyborg's been mentioning her name a lot. And Holly Holm kind of responded to that. Like, I hope she's just training her boxing. I would love to just box Cyborg, but I don't think that's how the fight's gonna go. But Holly Holm, she's got the boxing experience. So Holly Holm's a little underrated coming into this fight, I think. But at the same time, it is because Chris Cyborg's so dominant. But Holly Holm, if anybody could beat Chris Cyborg in the UFC, who do you think has the best chance? Do you think it's Holly Holm, or would you maybe like an Amanda Nunes?
I think Holly Holm, she can win if she... So when I said we haven't seen everything Chris Cyborg could do, but we also haven't seen her go to the 3rd or 4th round. So we don't know, and then she punches hard in the lot, so we don't know how long that gas tank can sort of last, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think if Holly kind of does the... moves her on the octagon side to side and just kicks her leg little by little, and then just starts, winning the point battle, she might win it. But
yeah. That's another thing not a lot of people are considering. What if it goes to decision? We've seen, what if it goes to decision and it's a close fight? And you might have Cyborg edging it out, but we've seen bad decisions, let alone if it goes to decision. We don't see that from Chris Cyborg often. So Holly Holm could win a decision, especially if she goes slow and uses the plan of dragging him into the deep, dragging her into the deep waters, like Max Holloway's playing versus Jose Aldo. He said, we know we can't swim in deep water, so we decided to take him there. So that's something that could very well happen. I personally haven't even really considered that. What if this fight goes to decision? I think most people are just kind of either thinking Cyborg's going to win dominantly by finish, or Holly Holm's going to catch her coming in and finish her. But no one's even really considering this fight going to decision.
I think I don't think Cyborg's gonna manhandle Holm. You know what I mean? She's not gonna throw her around.
Yeah.
Holm's pretty big too, and she's pretty buff.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay, so have you seen the UFC 220? They just did the press conference, like the pre-press conference. It had Daniel Cormier, Volkan, Stipe, and Francis.
Yeah, dude, I saw what's his name, the African guy, Francis
Ngannou.
The first thing he said, he was like, "Don't like Stipe," and I was like, "Oh damn, he gets this too." I was like, "We gotta start with this," you know.
I didn't. What did he say? I didn't hear that part. I only saw the highlights, and I don't know if they had that part on there.
Like in the beginning, they were like, "Oh, Stipe, are you scared of Francis and his power?" And Stipe's like, "Nah, man, I'm not scared." And then he's like, "Don't like Stipe," you know what I mean?
That's hilarious. I didn't see
yeah,
that.
so he just talking shit a little bit. So I was like, "Hey, we got something here."
Yeah, I watched the highlights. They should have put that in the highlights, but I just did like a reaction on the highlights, and right afterward I was gonna watch the full thing, but it was 30 minutes, so I was gonna watch that, but we have this scheduled for now, so I'm gonna go back and watch that. But yeah, he's definitely got the star power, and if he wins, it's kind of like Cody Garbrandt, man. If he would have beat TJ Dillashaw, boom, off to the moon. Same thing with Francis. If he actually can beat Stipe, then the sky's the limit. So I cannot wait for UFC 220, man. Just thinking about that, I'm kind of more excited. I don't want to say more excited than UFC 219, because UFC 219 is tomorrow, but UFC 219 is taking some hits, you know what I'm saying? Quite a few, starting with Dominic Cruz breaking his arm, and we might have lost something before that. Like, we lost Kamaru Usman versus Emil Meg. We've lost some steam, and the whole Jimmy Rivera fight.
Those Diaz, so I don't know.
Yeah, Connor, the Bellator stuff, like they said he was going to fight at the end of the year. Yeah, so I'm really excited about UFC 220, especially those two title fights, the two heavyweight kingpins, and then 221 is in Perth. Do you want to talk about Francis versus Cormier for a second, or Francis versus Cormier maybe next, but or UFC 220, or I was about to say then we got UFC 221, which is going to be in Perth. Luke Rockhold versus Robert Whittaker, and they're also talking about maybe Rose Namajunas defending her title on that card, maybe versus Tisha Torres. But now that we know that's not happening, I don't know who's left for really Rose to defend against if it's not.
I think Rose should fight what's her name, Carolina. Carolina beat her by a split decision.
Okay, and see that's what somebody said, because Carolina, I guess, was scheduled to face Jessica Andrade for like a #1 contender fight. Well, now after the Tisha Torres, shenanigans, now they're saying, well, I don't know if that fight was official or they just agreed on it, but it's like it's canceled. So now Jessica Andrade will be fighting Tisha Torres, and it leaves Carolina open. So that could be a fight for sure for Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, I don't really want Joanna to go right back in there. I mean, she just got. Yeah. She got hit hard, you gotta take your time off after getting knocked out.
Be smart about it, because you don't want to rush back, and then, boy, if you lose that second time, it would just be devastating. I completely agree, and I think she said herself she didn't maybe want to come back until March or April. So, I mean, she's not rushing it back as far as I have to fight Rose. She's saying whoever the champion is, I know I'm getting a title shot, but I'm gonna take my time. So that's dope to see from Joanna. And
yeah, but I think the Carolina fight would be good, because did you see Carolina's last fight? It was when Dal Cerrone and
I definitely saw it. Who was it against? Was it versus? That wasn't the fight versus Claudia, right? Where she got submitted in the first round.
Yeah.
Okay. Who did she fight after that? Oh yeah, it was in UFC Gdansk. Okay, yeah, I remember that. I definitely watched that card there and took.
Yeah, I mean, Carolina always punches, and she has cardio. I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I like to see that fight, Yeah,
that would be an amazing fight.
First fight was pretty good too.
Carolina. Yeah, that would actually be a dope ass fight. So maybe that'll be announced soon. And then UFC 222 in Vegas. We don't know who the main event or the co-main event is. We've just got a couple of fights on that announced. CB Dalloway and Hector Lombard. The one that just got announced today. Not Sean O'Malley versus Andres Tukumtov. That's on there as well. But there's another fight that just got announced today for UFC 222. That's gonna. Stefan Struve versus Andrei Arlovsky. So
that should be good. Yeah.
I think the UFC actually said that they're going to be like doing a press conference, like beginning. You remember when they did like the summer kickoff press conference I don't know if it was last year, and they had like Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw, and everybody. I think they're gonna do like a 2018 kickoff press conference with everybody fighting on those cards on one big day. It's like
they should, because I mean, I was watching MMA since I was little with like my dad, like casual fan. I remember seeing like Nate Diaz when he first came out and shit like that. But then like I stopped watching it for a while, and I got back into it like in 2016. And then 2016 was like a really good year for the UFC. You had all these big fights, and then you had like the Michael Bisping, Luke Rockhold, and McGregor Diaz fights.
Yeah.
You had the Miesha Tate, Holly Holm, and you had all these great fights, and like with a lot of build up. And then this year it's been a little hard for the UFC.
Yeah, and Dana White, he has said like this is the best year ever for the UFC, and people are like, what the hell is he talking about? But whenever he explained it, he considered Mayweather McGregor like part of the UFC's business. He's like, we made money off the fight, why wouldn't I consider it? You know, we sold 6 million pay-per-views that night, so we're counting that. We had a good year. And I see what he's saying, kind of, but looking at 2018, man, it might be way more reminiscent of 2016 than it was 2017.
Yeah.
As far as, there's a lot of, I'm super pumped. I mean, starting at UFC 220, just Francis Stipe, Cormier's fighting again, and yeah, I'm excited for the year. I think it's going to be a huge year, and Conor, I'm sure, is going to fight again, whether it's once, whether it's twice, whether it's Tony Ferguson, whether it's whether it's a mobster, no, whoever it is. I'm just saying, I think Conor will be back, and we've got other rising stars. You know, Darren Till, he's got opportunity. I just think UFC's got super potential just to have a huge year this year. So I'm excited about it.
I think they're McGregor, Diaz, and all these and GSP. They're gonna get an itch after a while. They're gonna want to come back in.
Yeah, GSP too.
Yeah, I know. Like Nate Diaz be posting like training in the gym on the Christmas morning. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you training in Christmas morning? You know what I mean? You don't want to fight.
In his interview he just did with Awkwards, he was saying like, he's like, so what do you do on a day-to-day basis right about now? He was saying, shit, I just train. Like he said he was training every day there too, and so and then that Christmas. So I mean, Nate Diaz is training. He's staying in shape for something. He's ready to get the call. I mean, he might be ready to take the offer. Like, all right, 20 million. I know I was a little, you know, but I can't wait. And yeah, that's another person that can come back. Nick Diaz, he could.
Hey, you don't take that 5 million though.
What about what about if Francis wins, Brock Lesnar? Boom. You know what I'm saying? Come Francis Brock. I don't know. That'd be crazy. Daniel Cormier, people can start moving divisions. Daniel Cormier can say, you know what, I want to fight the heavyweight champion on my way out. I wouldn't suggest it. I'm just saying there's all type of stuff that could happen. Is there any other fights that you're super hyped for that you want to see in 2017 that might not even be announced?
I'm waiting for that Diaz McGregor 3, man.
Hell yeah. Is that what you want next, or would you rather see like McGregor fight Ferguson first, or you just say however it has to happen, I want to see it? Forget Ferguson.
I'm gonna get a little heat for saying this, but first of all, I'm a Nate Diaz fan, so that's my boy. So
yep.
I'm Diaz team, but McGregor. Ferguson versus McGregor. I think McGregor will, because I seen Ferguson get clipped up pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's a very real possibility.
More than a couple of times already, and like guys that they're not even known for hitting hard, like Kevin Lee, you know, touched him up a bit. McGregor hits you like that, you're gonna go to sleep. I mean,
yeah, no, that's a very real possibility, and that's why I think that's why Conor doesn't get as much hate. I don't think anyone, you know, that's because that's a very real possibility. Conor McGregor touches you, people, they go to sleep, and he gets touched. So the only thing is like if for some reason he doesn't knock him out, and which is a very realistic possibility, then people are like, can he last with Tony Ferguson's cardio? Or can he last with Tony Ferguson on the ground? But they've got to get there. You know,
I think McGregor has good defense on the ground, like from the takedowns too. Like Eddie Alvarez tried to take him down the whole fight.
Mendez did too. He got up he got up a couple of times when Chad Mendez took him down, if I remember correctly as well. So,
but no, I think also people think that because of how he lost to Mayweather in the 10th round or whatever. I mean, I think boxing cardio and MMA cardio are like two different things.
Yeah, and it's a longer fight just on paper. Yeah. A championship fight in MMA is 25 minutes, and what he was doing with Floyd was like 36 minutes. Just on paper, it's a longer fight on top of the different dynamics. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can't rest on the clinch. You can't. If somebody takes you down, you can't just wait a if they're punching you, you got to put your hands up and punch back. And I think his MMA cardio probably is not going to be as bad as his boxing one. I think
it's just going up and up. I mean, the McGregor fast cardio program, the boxing experience. When he comes back to MMA, I don't think cardio is going to be an issue as far as what it may have been in the Diaz fights. So it's going to be dope. Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about? I know we talked about UFC 219. We've only been going for about 20 minutes. I mean, we can go longer, or if there's nothing else you really want to cover, man, it's been fun.
Yeah, man. What do you think about the middleweight division?
The middleweight division, Whitaker Rockhold is going to be for the title. As far as the contenders, you got Yoel Romero versus David Branch. I think it's happening. My boy just hit me up today, and he was like, "Man, did you see that Yoel and Branch is happening?" I said, "Yeah, it's going to be a good fight." And I reminded him also, there's Jacare Brunson coming up. I mean, the middleweight division, it's finally starting to move. Definitely now that GSP just vacated the title, now things are going to start shuffling. So, but man, as dominant as Robert Whitaker is, if he gets past Rockhold, I don't know who's going to be able to beat him. But the thing is, it's crazy that he's a former welterweight to me. It's crazy that he came up from welterweight and he's doing what he's doing at middleweight.
Yeah, he's also smaller than a lot of guys too.
Yeah, and that's one of
stand-up though.
Yeah, that's one of the things that people were like kind of saying, like they thought that's why they thought GSP might defend versus Whitaker. It's like, well, he is a former welterweight, so maybe GSP will fight him. But at the same time, he's been taking out the fucking Yoel Romeros, the Jacares, and the Derek Brunsons of the world. So it's like, okay, maybe he's not too much of a welterweight. But yeah, his success is just super surprising and super dope to see, like how he's taking out the best of the best at middleweight. So if he gets past Rockhold, what's he gonna have to fight next? Probably Weidman. But then that's where that size is still gonna come back. He's been slaying dragons at fucking middleweight, but then he's gonna be a former welterweight versus an all-American wrestler, Chris Weidman, if that ever happens. The size is definitely still gonna come back up. So that's dope to see. What's your favorite division right now? Is the middleweight division? I'm just curious if that's right.
I think the best.
Or the best division. Yeah.
45ers right now.
Okay.
1 to 10, they're all killers right there.
Especially with Emmett coming up, Ortega, it's just getting that win over Swanson. I think, man, I would have to say the welterweight division to me might be the most exciting. I think, man, 1 through 15 there might just be killers. You got Kamaru Usman ranked like number 12, and it might be just because he can't get a fight, but there's some real killers there. Darren Till coming up. You got the trash talk or the excitingness from Kobe Covington. What do you think about that? I mean, what's your opinion on that as a fan?
I think the UFC is sort of half and half still. There's still some of that, like, move up the rankings, fight the best guy, but there's also like how you say the fighting styles, you know what I mean? And I think Kobe, I mean, you have like McGregor, who's like The Rock, like WWE, he's like the people's champ, and he's being a bad guy.
Yeah.
Still getting all that attention, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
nobody likes Floyd, but everybody goes watch his fights and puts money.
For sure. I think I'm just thinking about some of the shit he says, so I'm just laughing like this dude's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't even think he means half of it.
I don't either. That's why it's more funny than disrespectful to me. Like, if I actually thought he meant it, I probably wouldn't like the guy, but just like, I just respect the comedy in it because I think he's trolling, and some people don't like it. Like, hey, this isn't jokes. It's like, bro, I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like right up there. He's about to fight for the title with one more good win.
And that's another thing. If you want to go about legitimacy, he did just beat Damian Maia, who just fought for the title, who just beat Jorge Masvidal. He also did fight Dong Yun Kim. I mean, say what you want, but he's beat 3 ranked fighters on his way to the number 3 spot. It's not like he talks trash and said, hey, Tyron Woodley, you're a piece of crap, and they said, oh, you're going up the rankings. No, he had to get a win. Or a couple of wins.
Yeah, I think if Condit wins, it should be Condit versus Till. That'd be a great fight.
Condit versus who?
Darren Till.
Oh, Till. I thought you said Chill for a second. I was like, what? Condit versus Till. Yeah, hey, I didn't think about that. You want to prove you're the best striker. If Condit gets the win over Magny and Wonder Boy don't want that smoke, hey, prove it versus Condit. He's definitely one of the best strikers in the welterweight division, depending on how he looks versus Neil Magny for sure. So yeah, that's a great fight. I haven't even considered Condit versus Till. Ooh, that
division's open though right now.
You know what? That might happen. If Condit wins tonight, that could easily headline, you know, England, Darren Till versus Carlos Condit. Ooh, that's probably the fight. Honestly, if Condit gets a big win, that might be bigger than Wonderboy Till. Like, Wonderboy don't want the fight or whatever. Okay, Condit, he's going to take that headline spot. I think Condit's down. But Condit did say he wants to fight everybody that he's lost to, whether it's Tyron Woodley or GSP. He said he wants them all back. So that's another. I don't know if he wants to fight an up and comer, or if he's just here kind of for a legacy thing right now.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Woodley though, man.
Yeah, Woodley, Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, I mean, I like Woodley. He's cool, man. I think he's pretty cool, but it's just like, I don't know, like he's doing all the right things, but they just don't come out good for them. You know what I mean? Like he's on TMZ. You know, he's on UFC on Fox. Dude's in movies in Bollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like people are like, "Boo, fuck this guy." You know what I mean?
I don't get it,
man. I don't get it. Yeah.
I don't get it either. It's hard, and like, so like when you ask him, like, so what is it? It can't be, you know, is it just because the first thing they say is his fights are boring, and it's like, okay, I hear you on his last 2 fights, but have you seen any of his fights before that? And they always say his last 3 fights, so you got to remind people, like, Wonderboy versus Woodley 1 was fight of the night at UFC 205. Yeah. Fucking Woodley almost got the finish, twice that fight? I think he dropped him once, then the submission attempt. And on that card was Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez, historical champ night, and they took fight of the night on that card. Joanna fought Carolina, I think, on that card as well. Like, there were some dope fights on that card for that to take fight of the night. So that's when they say, okay, well, it's just his last 2 performances that were boring. And it's like, okay, but then what about his Robbie Lawler fight? Was that boring? No.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? And so
nobody. Okay. Even the Woodley 2 fight, I mean Thompson and Woodley 2. I watched that with my friends, and they're more casual fans. And then we watched it. We were excited the whole time. We were just mad that nothing happened.
Hey, that's another thing about the fight. On the edge of your seat, it's like, yo, at any moment, either one of these dudes can get dropped, because either Woodley can leap forward and get clipped up coming in, boom, fight's over, or he could just land and boom, fight's over. So while you're watching the fight, on the edge of your seat, I was too. But then at the end, if you go rewatch it now and you know that nobody wins, you know, essentially nobody wins, and you're gonna be like, okay, so nothing's definitely gonna happen. It's a whole different story. So yeah, and then the next thing people say is he complains. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I mean, I kind of see it, but doesn't everybody? Like, I'm sure Conor has said something that comes off as a complaint. You know, oh, I want this, you know, I want a piece of the pie. You know, some people could say that's a complaint, and it's like, you don't label Conor as a complainer. He could, as a complainer, he's the motherfucking champion. It's like Woodley, though, he's a complainer, a boring fighter. Shut up, go home. And it's like, he even does the right, and this is the killer part. Maybe it's got something to do with this. He does the right things outside of the octagon. Maybe if Woodley was out here doing coke and stuff, people would embrace him more. You know what I'm saying? Like, after he hitting, wrecking cars. Maybe he needs to be in the Fast and the Furious. I don't know. Because
he has to do that Conor Rita thing. You know what I mean? Yeah,
because I was gonna say this could actually be it. Because go back to the John Jones Daniel Cormier. You know, Daniel Cormier gets the boos, and he's the good guy on screen. John Jones is the bad guy. He gets the cheers. So maybe that's a part of it. He's a good guy off screen. Maybe if Colby Covington actually dropped that heat, people would embrace Tyron Woodley more, like, oh shit, Tyron Woodley was, you know, at the Playboy Mansion, you know, like whatever he was doing.
If he knocked out Colby, he would be like a star. Oh, he beat that fucking race motherfucker.
That's another thing he could do. Oh yeah, that would be dope. And there's rumors that are swirling, and even they kind of died down leading up to the RDA Robbie fight, but now they're back. Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley for the Ultimate Fighter, and then a title fight. So if he would be built up into more of a bad guy during the season. You know how many chances he has to say some shit to piss people off through the show? Every week he's gonna piss off a different, you know, fucking sector of people. So, and then at the end it's gonna all build into Tyron Woodley just shutting him up.
Doesn't he quote like Trump a couple of times or something like that? Or
did he do what with Trump?
Just say like make Brazilians great again, or like,
yeah, I'm sure he did. I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
yeah, he's crazy, dude.
I wouldn't be surprised. Anything like that's gonna piss off the most people, he's probably down with. Like when he spoiled Star Wars, like,
yeah, oh man, yeah.
Dude, he's like, all my haters are virgin nerds.
That shit's so funny.
That shit is so fun. Bro, I want to see the Ultimate Fighter with Kobe and Tyron. Like, I want to see the RDA Woodley fight, but hey, RDA can get the winner. Because check this out. What if Kobe miraculously beats Tyron Woodley, and then his first defense is against a fucking Brazilian in RDA? Boom, that's already huge. Kobe versus any Brazilian right now at this point is going to be a big fight just from what he's done. If you get a damn Star Wars fan in there versus Kobe, you like Sam Alvey from 185 was like, yo, I'm pissed. I want to whoop his ass.
Boomerang thrown at him. He got a bruise and he pressed charges. I was like, dude.
Oh my lord, that pisses off. But what he did clear that up a little bit. He said he didn't actually like press charges. The only way he said to get the actual footage of the boomerang throwing was to say he was pressing charges. But he said the reason that Fabricio only got a $600 slap on the wrist is because he didn't further. He said, I could have went further and pressed charges. I only did that to get the video. But that's why he only got a fine and a slap on the wrist, is because I actually didn't press charges. So he like always walks it back a little bit. Like he's like, oh, he's pressing charges, but he walks it back. Oh, he's calling people filthy animals, but it's like, no, I didn't mean, you know, like I'm not calling Brazilians filthy animals. I'm just saying the people that, yeah, it's like he walks it back a little bit. So it's that fine line. I don't think he's walking back to Star Wars spoiler though. I don't think Luke Skywalker is gonna come back alive.
Oh, what do you want that TJ DJ thing?
As soon as possible. I mean, at this point, I don't know where the negotiations are. Dana White, and even in Demetrius Johnson, one of his recent interviews, he said, you know, everybody wants to see this snake fight. Like, he started playing up the snake versus the mouse a little bit. Like, and I just think that makes perfect sense. But the Demetrius Johnson thing is, they just have to get the contract worked out. Now that he's got new management, though, I think they should be able to get it worked out, man. He's starting to get, like, big sponsors. I don't know if he's had them since before his management, but, I mean, I think Demetrius Johnson's going to come along, but I kind of see where he's coming from, because what he's saying is, if I'm going to get $300,000 to fight Ray Borg, and I'm going to get $300,000 to fight TJ Dillashaw, why would I not fight the guy that's in my division? Like, I'm going to give you these excuses of, yeah, he's not in the division, but essentially this is what it is. I'm getting $300,000 to fight Ray Borg and $300,000 to fight TJ. I'm going to fight Ray Borg because if I lose to either one of them, I lose my title, and my next fight might be $50,000. So I'm going to keep fighting these $300,000 fights because I know I'm not a draw, rather than just trying to be a draw for one fight and possibly losing my security. So I see where he's coming from, but
yeah, that's the thing with some of these fighters that like sometimes they don't go for a finish, or they don't like take risks. It's because, well, if you lose, that's like half of your money. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's boring, but I'm gonna get
your next fight's kind of suffer too. Yeah. Not only is it half of your money in Demetrius Johnson's case, but you would lose championship pay. You would only, Demetrius Johnson, you might lose half of your pay, and then your next fight, since you're not, it's not a title fight. If you don't get the rematch,
prelims, man.
Yeah, you, instead of making $500,000, you might make $50,000. So it's like, you know, he don't want to risk that. But another thing though about Demetrius is he still goes for the finish. You know, it's not like he's in there fighting safe, you know, boring fights. He's in there mighty barring fucking dudes and, you know, submitting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts, finishing Henry Cejudo. Like, he's finishing dudes and still kind of getting a little bit of heat. But I think the TJ Dillashaw fight, if it happens, it might kind of be like Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington. It might shut those people up. But at the same time, since it's happening at 125, people might still say, yeah, but you won't go up and fight him. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think Demetrius should just fight for the 135 one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's the same fighter he was when he fought Dominic Cruz.
I don't either. Yeah.
And then in that fight, you know, Dominic Cruz kept trying to take him down because he didn't really want to exchange with him, you know?
Yeah, and he realized how successful it was. There was like, he took him down like 10 times in that fight. Because he realized, okay, I'm too big for this dude, so let's go back to what's working. So, but that is the thing. If he goes back up, would the size advantage still be there? Would he still look like, you know, because when he fought Dominic Cruz, if I'm not mistaken, Dominic Cruz might have had like 4 inches of height on him or something. I just remember he looked really big in there. So I don't know how tall like the other guys are. But even that though,
he'd be shorter though, yeah.
If he fought Dominic Cruz today, I mean, you know, because that was before a lot of the injuries with Dominic Cruz when they fought. So you could argue that might have been a prime Dominic Cruz when they fought DJ. So what about do you think the same thing would happen to Demetrius Johnson today and like the kind of injured Dominic Cruz today? If they fought today at 135, Demetrius might have a better chance than he did in that last fight.
Oh, I think DJ can be top 5 and lower, he can beat all of them at 135. It's just whether or not he can beat the top 5, like the killers, you know, like can he beat Cody, can he beat TJ, but can he beat like Jimmy Rivera? You probably beat him, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, so I don't know. And one thing though, if the fight does happen though, so yeah, it'll probably be at 125. So it should probably be at 135, but if it's actually going to happen, it's probably going to be at 125. And if TJ loses, another thing is he doesn't fight at 125, so people can also use the kind of excuse of he depleted his body going down to fight you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Demetrius Johnson is going to really actually shut up too many people by beating TJ. He's going to be able to say it, but there's not much he can do.
I'm saying like if he does it at 135,
except for if he does it at 135, yeah.
If he does 135, he'll be like, I beat the top guy in their division. I'm number 1 now. I'm like the GOAT. You know what I mean?
Or one other thing he could do is post a picture on a scale weighing 115 pounds and let everybody know, hey, 135 is not where if there was a 115, I would be whooping ass down here. I could be a 2-weight champion down here. But 135, these motherfuckers are giants to me. I'm just a small guy. It is what it is.
Oh, did you see that one article with that guy that just knocked out who did he just knock out? It said 135 was a Brazilian guy.
Marlon Moraes.
Yeah, they just I think California wants him to move up a division because he was weighing like 155
when he fought Aljamain.
Yeah.
Oh wow, no, I haven't seen that yet. I have not seen that.
From 135 to 155, so they put a lot of weight on.
That's interesting because, you know, he was one of the possible replacements for John Lineker, and the reason it didn't happen is because, like, I guess he couldn't make 145 even in time. You know, and you would think as a bantamweight that's ready for a fight, you might be wanting to be ready to make bantamweight in a day's notice or a week's notice just in case an opportunity like this presents itself. But to not even be able to make 145 is like, ooh.
I think he probably weighs like 170 all season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty big. And he's looking good though. He's definitely streaking. But yeah, I'll have to check into that. I haven't seen that. I know there's like, I don't know which state it is. I think it's only one state right now that's got like the recommended weight class. Just like they want you to come in. Yeah, and it's California. Okay, so maybe he's gonna have to stay away from California, or he might. I don't think we've seen anybody forced up that hasn't like had a super problem missing weight. But that's something to look into.
Do you think, dude, I think that GSP, the colitis or whatever, that's bullshit, man.
See, and people...
that. He just wanted...
That's my thing. Like, it's not that I don't believe it. It's just, you can't... I might not even necessarily believe it, but it's just, you know, when it comes to injuries, you got to be careful because they're serious. And it's like, especially a serious injury. There's people that say, my aunt's life was changed when she got colitis. She's got a colostomy bag for the rest of her life. It's nothing to joke about. And then you got, but you got Dana White coming out and saying, look, I don't ever believe he was going to defend the belt. You know, a lot of people believe that. He's not going to defend the belt, but if you can predict that he's not going to defend the belt, but you can't really predict the colitis. But that's the only way out of the contract because it was in his contract to defend versus the, you know, Whitaker. But since he's got colitis, it gives him the out to vacate. So it's like, your hippo eyes are up on the colitis, but since it's an injury, you kind of got to be careful about saying, oh, it's a bullshit injury. Especially when you got his coaches coming out saying, oh, he was throwing up blood and, you know, this shit, you know.
Well, it's kind of weird because, like Tyron Woodley, when he's not fighting, he's like 200 pounds. You know, he cuts down all the way to 170. Mm-hmm. If GSP wants to weigh 185, he just doesn't have to cut weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not like he's not
walking around at 177 and he like just put on, you know, 185. That's a good point.
Like 200 and just gain more muscle. You know what I mean? So I don't see how like, I mean, if he was fighting at 205, then I guess I could see how you could get sick from overeating. But
exactly, because Tyron Woodley could fight at 185 if he just stopped his cut at 185. You know, exactly. So yeah, that's another good point. It's like. So yeah, you probably are right, the colitis, and I don't even know about how far you would go about bullshit, but do I think it would prevent him from ever fighting at 185? I don't think so. I think that's just kind of whatever it is, it's just a reason to not fight at 185 because as you said, even if once you heal up, if you're ever going to fight again, why couldn't it be at 185? So yeah, that's actually another really good point about that, but it's definitely skeptical. I'm skeptical, but it is what it is on that one. I mean, it's over and done with. At least we got the middleweight division moving and shaking. You know, Whitaker versus Rockhold, Romero, Branch, all these guys. I don't know who Weidman's next fight's gonna be. I think he had like injury complications. Actually, that's because that's another middleweight contender. I was thinking of the other ones. You got Brunson and Jacare. So I was thinking about what about Weidman, and I think he actually just said that his another injury maybe from training, he's gonna be out a little bit longer. So yeah, at least we got the middleweight division moving. And Bisping, I mean, who do you think his last fight might be against? I want to see him on the Darren Till card. I think that's dope. It might be his retirement fight, pass the torch, Darren Till.
Like Vitor Belfort or
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yoda Machida, some shit like that, you know.
Yeah, that'd be that. Yeah, something like that. That's what it should be.
Don't kill him in this last fight, man. Just let him walk away, you know.
Speaking of don't kill him in his last fight, and Lyoto Machida, he's about to fight Derek Anders. You know, I actually think that fight's good because Derek Anders, I don't think is as skilled as somebody like whoever we were just talking about versus Lyoto. Not versus Lyoto. We were talking about Michael Bisping like a killer. We were talking about like don't put Michael Bisping against the killer.
Like Yoel Romero, like don't do that.
Yeah, I don't think Eric Anders is like a killer, like a Derek Brunson, like somebody that's just a super elite mixed martial artist. Do you know who Eric Anders is?
Nah.
Okay, he's the guy that's going to be fighting Lyoto Machida. He's a former Alabama Crimson Tide football player. He won a national title playing football, and he's transitioned to MMA. So he's like undefeated. He's undefeated right now, and he's going to be fighting Lyoto Machida. But like you watch his last fight, like he's not super technical. You can tell like he's a football player that transitioned. So it's a good fight for Lyoto because it's not like you're throwing him to a wolf. If you can't beat this dude, you probably definitely aren't gonna beat the Brunsons and the Whitakers, you know, because it's like skill versus athleticism. Because when you watch, I watched this guy's last fight, he like chased his opponent down like a fucking cornerback and like dragged him on the floor, and he didn't have jujitsu, like too much jujitsu skills when they got down there. Like he's like, all right, I'm not even going for the submission anymore. You know, like he was just kind of controlling him with his athleticism. So I think it's a dope fight. So
I think he does sound like Weidman would be pretty good. I think
versus Bisping.
Yeah, so that would be a good fight.
Yeah, that would be a good fight. I would definitely go with Weidman, and they've actually got a little bit of history. Yeah, I think that'd be a dope fight. Maybe that will happen since Weidman has had like a little bit of injury complications. Maybe he'll be coming back around that time. That, you know, what is it, March? I think Bisping wants his last fight. Maybe April. He did get banged up a couple of times in a row, so I don't know if March is the best idea. But I would love to see Bisping on the same card as Darren Till, though. So I that would be dope to me because his last fight, Darren Till's the past and the future. Like he's passing the torch essentially. So I think that would be smart as far as marketing, but I don't know if Bisping's gonna be ready for that fight.
Yeah, and then like I think like Darren Till, he's coming up, and I don't think he's not gonna need the belt to be like a good fighter, you know, because like he'll fight anybody. He's a good fighter. He wants to fight that Mike Perry guy, but just wrong. Like it makes no sense, but it's like, well, that's what people want. They want to see a fight.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's like I'll fight fucking Mike Perry. Like I don't care about rankings. He'll even fight Kamaru Usman. One of the only people like. It can be Usman, it can be Perry, it can be Wonder Boy. Like, just give me somebody. Like, anybody. It can even be Cormier. Like, this dude's. It can be another division. Francis gotta watch out.
This shit's going up because of that, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. So UFC 219, 220, 221, 222. Man, it's tomorrow. UFC 219 is tomorrow. That's pretty crazy. I don't know who's coming in. I don't know if that's too loud, but yeah. So, is there anything else you wanted to cover?
No,
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
Yeah, me neither, man. I'm all good.
Right. Well, once again, thanks for coming on. You can say anything else you want to the full-time family before we get out of here. It's Alberto Castro, right? I don't have it pulled up. Okay, I don't see. Yeah, wanted to make sure everybody knew your name before we got out of here too. Yeah, Alberto Castro, member of the full-time family. Day one, you know. I don't know if you said MMA Quick Hits 2 or Quick Picks, but both of them, you probably just got the two confused.
Yeah.
Either way, same story, man. Thanks for coming on, talking a little MMA with me.
All right, man. Yeah, you know, hopefully we'll get this channel up. You know, you'll be interviewing fighters, more fighters.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I already got that Sean O'Malley interview under my belt, whether it's on the channel or not. I'm riding with it. We're gonna get more. I'm sure we're gonna get more, but I'm not rushing it. So it is what it is, man. Thanks for coming on. Again, let the full-time family know what you think in the comments, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the call. All right, man. I'm out.
All right, peace out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.